Grandpa, put the phone to your ear. Hello? Hello? Grandpa, no, you put the phone to your ear. I'm talking to the phone. No, the other end. You're on the other end. Grandpa, you're wearing Grandma's seatbelt. That's Grandma's seatbelt. Old people. Well, so I don't know what it is, man, but I get the impression something's happening. I can't say what. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure. Could be a good thing. Could that's the thing though. It could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. It could be totally benign. Could be just nothing at all. I just don't know. All I know is I'm not falling for it. I know that much. There's plenty of places here to get my wires crossed, so I have to be as vague as possible until I know more. But I'll probably get some answers for sure, more than likely. So far, that's all I have. I know that I'm not falling for it. It's a staged event. It's a production of some sort, not in the sense that all of the actors are the ones perpetrating whatever this hoax is, but the people that are in charge of managing it after the fact certainly are aware of it. But I don't know. I don't know what that entails. I don't know what it's about. I have no fucking clue. Couldn't even begin to understand. Like, couldn't even begin to say. That's all I know so far, though. And it could be two different. The thing is, like, it could be two totally different things. It could be my friend Pete, or it could be Pete Hegseth. So I'm like, I have to leave it there. I don't really know. I have no clue. Um, right? Seems like it. But the thing is, the dream I had, um, has something to do with these flyovers. But then again, this could be something totally unrelated. And that's just, how dreams are symbolic, right? And if you have a dream, like what's weird about dreams is, right? Well, at least for me, if I have a dream and the next day, like the people I see in my dream, like go by their first name, not necessarily like who they actually are or whatever. So, like, if I have a dream about somebody random, I'm like, why would I have, other than being blatantly homosexual, why would I have a dream about Pete Hegseth of all things, right? Um, well, it could be representative of a friend of mine that's also named Pete that I'm also totally balls to the wall gay for, right? Totally balls to the wall gay for. Um, yeah, so I don't know. So I don't want to get too far off into the weeds and the shit. Get too far off into the weeds and the shit about it, but that's not even how that. That's not even how you use that phrase. But it's funny when Steve Brule said it. Off in the weeds and the shit. Anyway, that's where I'm at with everything. That's all I have right now. Then again, it could be the opposite. So like where people that are in the news represent people in my real life, just like how people in my real life represent people on the news. Like it does work both ways. Like I don't know why sometimes more than others you see other people, but don't know for sure. But all I know is that yeah, maybe something to do with the Chinese. Maybe something to do with the Chinese. That might just be because I've been eating a lot of Chinese food here lately. That is very possible. That is very possible, you know. And don't get me wrong, sometimes dreams mean absolutely nothing at all. Sometimes they're just gibberish. But, and sometimes they aren't. This is one of those ones, though, I felt like was something. Because there was all these people I never see before, you know. I don't ever have dreams. Never once have I had a dream about Pete Hegseth. Right, never once, right. Never once have I had a dream about Pete Hegseth. Why would I suddenly have one about Pete Hegseth? Why would he, why would he pop up in my dreams all of a sudden? Well, for what I gathered though is that there's a lot of contention over these flyovers, and like I don't know what it is. It seems like a psyop sort of, but everything's a psyop on the internet. Even psyops are psyops, right? So the goggles, why I can see these fucking things? Why can I see them on this character and not my other character? The mode extractor is what I need. You can build the mode extractor. You can always see them. Never, whatever. Either way, so these whatever these flyovers are, like apparently people are arguing about the thing, and I'm like, it's kind of silly to argue about, right? I mean, as long as they're not doing like sonic booms in a school zone or whatever, I don't see what the problem is. And that being said, they, from what I can gather, whether or not this is true or not, is that they are going to have a just cause for a flyover at some point in time here in the future that will kind of give Pete Hegseth the floor to say, that's why we do these. That's why we do these things, right? That's why we have these drills or not drills, or that's why we have practices and stuff. That's why we do these things, preparedness things. Like, it's not always necessarily to be like, well, this is just to like get everybody on board with attacking Iran for whatever reason. Like, well, I guess right now America is probably closer to war than it's ever been with a country like Iran ever before. Maybe not like in the past 6 months, maybe not in the last 3 months. You know, like tensions were definitely higher a few months ago. It seems like now they're in and out of talks, mediation, and all that. But that being said, mind you, at some point in time in American history, like the war effort consisted of like a flyover. You're going to complain about a flyover? You know, like, not that America is at war quite like we were in World War II, but the entire civilian workforce and military, everybody on fucking in the United States at some point in time was mobilized in the war effort, and in any way, like any spare hand possibly could be used to do that kind of thing, right? And they didn't complain about the shit then, you know what I mean? And I'm not going to sit there and say that the Iranian threat is as much of a threat to American democracy as the Nazi threat or the Japanese threat at the time, but well, we're closer to that than anyone is comfortable with. And that being said, people kind of understanding or being prepared either psychologically at some point in time for that kind of thing is helpful. To go from like a complete state of what appears to be 100% everybody kumbaya, shaking hands, peace, all this stuff, and then suddenly one day, I mean, it's a shock to people for that when that shit happens, right? And what people remember the most about 9/11 was like everything was just so normal that day. Everything was like, it was like it couldn't have been a better day. You know what I mean? Couldn't have been a better time. And then suddenly everything came crashing down, right? And it freaked everybody out, dude. The psychological part of it, watching the shit happen on TV day after day for months and months at a time, that was as frightening, if not horrifying to people than like the actual tragedy itself, you know? So whether or not these things are being done as like psychological dampeners for what a possible future could consist of, either way, It's not hurting anybody, really. It's not. People being patriotic, and it's a time for people to be patriotic. Doesn't mean that they're all war hawking and being war hawkish about shit. I mean, there's a degree of that, but then again, we are currently bombing another country. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no, I agree. Flyovers are probably a good thing. I can't imagine how people like. Plus, you get to see like people pay to go see the Blue Angels and all that stuff. As long as they're not doing sonic booms, I don't imagine why there's a problem. Being patriotic, there's nothing wrong with being patriotic. But what I don't want though, what I don't know for sure, these are all assumptions, right? I have no clue what's going on, but it seems like either they're going to continue staging these sonic booms, or not sonic booms, what are they called? Flyovers or whatever, until they get some sort of official resolution that this is an acceptable practice, or there is like a drill or something that's going to happen that nobody's aware of, where suddenly these things will seem justified. Either way, I think there's a degree of like knowledge, not maybe complicity, but like what do you do kind of things, right? So I hope not, but that's the two things I have currently, I feel like. And then that's if that's even off that fork of knowledge or logic or whatever. Like this could be related to one of my real life friends, and it could just be like them throwing me a fucking surprise party. And you know how I don't like surprise. I'm like a seahorse when it comes to surprises, right? That's like 9/11 to me. A surprise party? Please don't. Oh, please don't. God, no. Right, I might just fucking fake my death and change my name. But anyway, that's kind of what I've been dealing with this morning or evening or whatever. Oh no, I'm like a seahorse when it comes to surprises. Right, but in all reality, I don't understand. Like, wouldn't you rather the American people be on board with some sort of? And I know this is like, well, can't we all just get along? I get that, but clearly, that option doesn't exist right this second. And to get to that future, we have to do something. And at this point in time, yeah, it's just probably a tough gig. It's probably a tough gig. I can imagine. If I'm losing sleep about it, I can imagine what the guys that actually have to deal with this shit are like, right? It's probably a tough gig, more than likely. So I completed all them quests, turn these in, be done with the grand, and but the thing is, it's being done in a way to psychologically prepare America for the fact that we are closer to conflict than we were 2 years ago, basically, I think. And there's all this arguing about it, and an opposition even within the military saying like, well, that's not acceptable. Those guys, like, come on now. I mean, it is America. Those are Americans. They're not harassing anyone. They're not intimidating anybody. They're not zooming by and scaring little kids or doing anything stupid. Like, essentially, this is like a show that you would normally go pay to see kind of thing. Yeah, I can't imagine why people care. I mean, I understand why they care. I can't imagine why they have a problem. But I think they're gonna be doing more. Whatever it is, they're gonna be doing more of these things. I can tell, right? I'm pretty sure. And that makes sense to me. You know, they gave the guy a shit about Kid Rock and that. Like, come on now. The guy lives in a couple hours east of me in a mock-up version of the White House, right? They gave a helicopter flyby. I'm like, those people, all they do is fly those things all day. Like, are you worried about the gas? You know what I mean? Is that the problem? The gas for the helicopter? Really? I'm sure that they can figure out a way to budget that in, right? And then people see, I don't understand why they have a problem with people being patriotic. Just don't jump on board the Warhawk wagon just because you got to see an airplane fly over, and I think you're good to go. You know what I mean? Don't let the Patriot campaign become a psyop or brainwashing campaign. That's what I have to say about it. Please don't. But like people being used to seeing things just in a slightly, you know what I mean? It's better than it just all having to be there one day out of the blue, whatever, and I don't necessarily know what Iran's capabilities of an actual like threat against the United States on American soil is. Um, I don't want to see what it's like, and I know if I'm, well, here's the thing: I don't know what their capabilities are, but I know what they would do if they could. You know what I mean? Like we all know what they would do. Well, why? Well, all these proxies that are in the Middle East and all that stuff that surround Iran that were seemingly never on the fucking, you know, attack Iran train at all are the ones that Iran is attacking because they're either allies of the United States or proxies or whatever. Like, so what do you think they would do if they could? In all reality, and I hate to have to be the guy, but like if they had a nuclear bomb, you know how much more saber rattling they would do. And then it's like you can't have it. Period. Just until there's some sort of like complete and total. And I know people have an opposite opinion about this than I do, but like I say, at some point in time they should be able to. But it sure as shit isn't right now. It's gonna take a while. They're gonna have to look an awful lot like America before then. But you know what I mean? In all honesty. But the thing is like, well, why? It's like, well, the back and forth between the United States, Israel, Iran, and all these other people. Well, imagine if they had this thing that was like to them, it's a wonder weapon. They wouldn't have to follow by a bunch of rules all of a sudden, and we let them basically choose what rules they have to play by. Then they play by even less rules, and then there's more saber rattling, and then there's more spiraling, and there's more nonsense. And that is exactly what would happen. Yes, it would. 100%. Yes, it would. And then what happens when you have to try and disarm a nation that has a nuclear bomb that is behaving like they are right this moment? Well, it's way uglier. So for now, they can't have the shit, period. It's only fair. I know you can sit there and say the case can be made. Well, what happened when Pakistan had developed their nuclear bomb? You're like, yeah, Iran isn't Pakistan. That's why. But Pakistan is also like their stance towards Israel, if I had to guess, is not quite as militant. They're entrenched as far as their state-backed sponsors of terror are not as numerous. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's a whole bunch of that shit that goes on over there regardless, but... And then again, I could be wrong about those two things specifically. I can honestly say I don't think I've ever researched that to the degree that maybe I should, but if anybody has any information on it, I would like to know. But then you get into the point where like, and how are you supposed to prevent Iran from enriching and selling uranium to one of these rogue proxy groups? Like how do you prevent all that? Like, well, they cannot have a nuclear bomb, that's all. Because how emboldened will they be if they get one? The United States attacked them, and they immediately started attacking every surrounding nation, you know what I mean? So they're all but telling you what they would do if they ever got in a pinch with that kind of thing, so... If you don't, like, if you think for a second, how many of their own protesters did they kill? Like 20,000 of them? 2,000, a couple thousand? If they don't mind doing that to their own citizens, imagine what they wouldn't mind doing to their mortal enemy, in all honesty. And all it really takes, and it's like something to consider too, is like, people when they get on their last thread, their last leg, they get desperate. You know what I mean? Like Khomeini, had he been put in the same position that his kid's put in currently, or whatever his name is, you would sit there and say that if he had a nuclear bomb and he knew his last days were here, you don't think there's a possibility that guy would try to, if they had a bomb, drop it on somebody. Really? I'm sure he would. I don't know if he would for sure, but I'm saying that if she'd contemplate, thered be a plan somewhere for that kind of thing. And all you don't need is one of these people that are like mentally ill, radical, fundamentalist to get to be 90 years old, have Alzheimer's, and everybody cheering them on as they, try to rally the troops to drop a bomb on somebody that doesn't deserve it, right? The only way you can prevent all of these unknown variables in the future is to not let them have the shit to begin with, because all it takes is remember Nero and all the shit that happened with Rome? Like, that can happen anywhere else too, That can happen pretty much anywhere, right? And as we've seen with Joe Biden, even America is prone to there being a befuddled idiot in office with Joe Biden and having to deal with cognitive issues and things like that. Okay, well, imagine a guy like Joe Biden with an R complex as big as a Nerf football that has the territorial instincts of a fucking Komodo dragon lizard with a nuclear bomb. Well, the only way to prevent that from ever turning out like it might is by not letting him have the shit, period. That's all. And I don't- like, and I'll be the first to say, how many years, a path to whatever, and all this stuff. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think they should be able to have eventually, but you have to like, I think at some point in time, like here, you graduated from this shit to being, whatever, a certain amount of human rights guaranteed or protected to all the people, and you go through these steps, prove to the United Nations or whoever the governing body is, and then they can come to a decision whether or not your country could or couldn't be allowed to build a nuclear bomb for self-defense, and nuclear energy and all that stuff. But like you've got to go through like a God only knows how many steps for that kind of thing, and then an approval process, and then a vote pins, and then they say, yeah, now you can, and you have to get there the right way, and it has to be. And I was like, oh, nuclear bomb for peace. I'm like, it's only fair. You know what I mean? It's only fair. It is just technology. It's like you're gonna sit there and tell them they can't have the internet or AI either. It's like what it can be used for versus what they use it for. If you can get them to agree to only use it for certain things, then what the fuck can you possibly say? In a long enough timeline, I don't know how long that would take, but it makes sense to me. I probably won't see it in my lifetime if that's of any, you know what I mean, more than likely, but all right, I forgot to turn those in. We got those quests. All right, we're done with fucking the grand. This shit, nothing but group quests, dude. This shit is thousands of group quests, and I don't have a group, so how do we, and then Mechanar, oh, 68. God damn it. All these quests. All right, so what's the next best place to go to? Fucking Netherstorm. I really do not like uh, Blade's Edge Arena or Blade's Edge thing or whatever. Because not only that, you have to think about like, and as much as you might pretend that okay, well, if you're not a Republican or a Democrat, which is why this whole argument, party politics, is all super retarded. But what you might think is okay, and but is like okay, we have a progression of enhanced restrictions on Iran and then an easement of restrictions on Iran, depending on whether or not there's a Democrat or Republican in office. Well, you can't necessarily have to have the next administration having to make good on all of the perceived wrongdoings of the previous administration. It's like they get a nuclear bomb, and then we have 8 years of somebody that's a Democrat or a moderate. And I'm not like saying, oh, because I'm a Republican. I'm just saying that after you spank some kid for however long you have to spank him for, and then suddenly dad leaves and mom's there, what do? They ask for twice as much, right? Usually. And that's exactly what you would see with Iran. Now, how do the Democrats make up for all the shit that they'll say Donald Trump, that the devil himself did to the Iranians or whatever? Just, well, you have to let them have a nuclear bomb. They have to be able to enrich. Here's piles of money. Here's all this other shit, basically not only erasing whatever progress was made, also, but making it worse. So, and that period of time where a Democrat would have to sit there and do all this shit to appease the Iranians, like, well, if part of this resolution now consists of them being able to enrich uranium to the point where they can eventually make a nuclear bomb, then that 8-year period of time where a Democrat has to sit there and kumbaya with them or whatever, is the time period in time that you might suspect would be like, well, that's when they really start ratcheting towards this, whatever, you know, one step closer to something that could potentially be something that nobody wants, period. You know what I mean? And the Democrats would sit there and say, I'm not playing party, that's why I'm saying, that's why I don't agree with all this shit. What is that? That's the thing, is like, I wish it weren't that way. I wish there weren't a two-party system for this reason, or for multiple reasons, but anyway, someone's messaging me. Oh, Sethic? Yeah, so, and that's if you, that's just if a Democrat serves 2 terms, right? And then, like, the perceived transgressions, they'll try to compensate for all that shit, and you can't have them compensating in a situation where they have an enrichment program. You know, you just can't. It's too rough of a time. It's too long of a time. Oh, we've got a Chinese person. It appears. North Korean? Are you North Korean? Anyway, you're group leader. I can DPS or heal. Well, I want to ride north to. Oh, this should be interesting. Should be interesting. All Chinese people, and all. Oh no, that's all the same person. I think that's Chinese. Go, Sethic Halls. Right. Let me get the flight path. Where's the flight path in Blade's Edge? Oh, look at that. Scarab Lord. You got a guy with the Scarab Lord mount. Crazy good gear, too. Oh, that would have been fun. I hate that they fucking. These people, dude, I swear, if they ever just re release WoW on the original timeline, no convenience, nothing's just like exactly like it was. I would love to do AQ40 and Naxxramas and try to get Scarab Lord and all that stuff. I mean, I'd rather just do that in real life, to be honest, now that I think about it. Yeah, let's just do it in real life instead. There's a dog named Rima. Oh, this is based off of Remus and Romulus. Well, Remus and Romulus weren't wolves. They were raised by wolves. But they were the ones who founded Rome. Supposedly. I guess at some point in time, someone had to be raised by wolves, right? Trying to get a flight path real quick. Flight path person. Healing. Healing. You need a healing weapon. I got a new staff last night. 227. I think it's super good. I think everybody uses that at level 70. You always see healers with it until you get like an epic. Oh, we got that good water. Oh my god. Things are so much better now. Okay, so remember what the new thing we have here is Prayer of Mending, which is actually, where's the tank? Don't shield the tank, they say, apparently. But I got all these extra prayers and shit, dude. I don't know what to do with them. I don't have a prayer of shadow protection yet either. Oh, we got a mage that's got like level 70 guy. Cause he's a level 70 guy. Wearing the same gloves that I have. Is it what he's wearing there? He is wearing my healing gloves. I guess it's like the only gloves you can get. Oh no, those are damage. Those are damage gloves. Why is my thing all fucking strange looking? Damage done. If I could see the fucking the totems on Morgrim, but when there's 4 or 5 ads, you have to tab through, and you can't target focus because they got rid of totem stomping macros. I think that's kind of shitty. They should let you totem stomp in PvE still. I cannot fucking see the shit unless I can get the right type of bars that lets me do it. Try to find the right bars, I guess. That way I can do better damage on that. Cause I can't see the shit. My screen's small. My eyes are terrible. That's right, prayer mending. But then if only he gets hit, I mean, I guess it's good because it's like a earth shield that bounces around. It's actually really good, isn't it? You'd rather see it on the tank though. But then, yeah, perfect. Glad I shackled there. Long he knows how to ice block. Kill ads. First wave. Mage is fire, so I'll try and dot up the fire. Forgot about Holy Nova. That's awesome. I forgot to do prayer mending. I got used to using prayer mending too. Once I get to 69, though, I can do Shadow Labs, I think. Right? I don't know why you wouldn't be able to do it. It's join the group queue for it or whatever. Somebody say it was their birthday? This is mind control. Like, all that fucking plus, so the wrong person gets mind controlled, then we're fucked, right? So let me shackle. We don't have any more pulls like that, I don't think. So that should be good. Punch him in the back of the head. Derp. Derp. Really? Aw. Really? Are you serious? God damn it. Don't get killed. The fucking goats of all things, dude. Seriously? Seriously? Stomach is growling. Ah. about to have a whole bunch of shit pulled. No, thankfully. I can only do so much there. God damn it. Oh, fuck. Oh, I didn't dot it. Good. Oh. Give me just a second. Give me just a second, please. Oh. Konnichiwa. Right. Oh, it's Realm Boar. I didn't realize it's the same guy from the other day. I was doing these the other day with him. I don't know if he's the guy that was. No, it was that Renrizal or whatever the guy's name was. Renzal. Oh, don't run into the things. Oh, Jerry. I've stuck in the goddamn pothole. I was like, don't let him die, because, well, do we have anybody else that can res? Yeah, I guess I should have let him die. Renzal, whatever his name was. He invited me to the group, and then he like ran up there. He's like, "Stay stacked." I followed this guy, and like when I followed the guy, like he died in the ice. Like right as he popped out of ice block, he died and kicked me from the group. I'm like I might have done a better job healing or whatever, or keeping him alive, keeping whatever, or staying stacked. Like don't give instructions whatsoever and expect me to understand what the fuck you have going on is also like not necessarily fair. And kicked me from the group, told me to fuck off, told fuck you, ignorant piece of shit, and then yeah, and then ignored me. I'm like, okay, whatever. I saw that ghost there, and I'm just like, if I heal through it, and like, whatever. Looked like either one of us was gonna die. Yeah, I could have ran. Come on now, are you fucking? God damn it! Goddamn kid left their Legos on the floor. Slip on a Tonka truck. God damn it! What the fuck? Get me killed. Where is? Oh, okay. That's a tough one. I forget my spirit shards from earlier. Wait, you got Therith? I got Therith. Where is the person? Be right back. Yes. Hello? Hello? Why are you people in my living room? You're not my grandkids. God damn it, do I have to run at the beginning? How the fuck do you get out of this place? This is the beginning. It's the opposite of the Doors song. This is the beginning. Oh. Which I don't know why people were so obsessed with that Val Kilmer movie. They said it won a Best Picture, him as Jim Morrison. I did not much like that movie. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas was a way more awesome kind of movie. Escape from Durnhold. It seems like I've had like 30% success at best trying to do Durnhold groups. It's just always such a shitty thing there. Yeah. Oh, looking for a tank. Aw. At this hour, friend, good luck. Oh, man. Tuna tastes a little better microwaved. Abandon all my questises. Walana. Yep. Start abandoning our Nagrand quest. Keep the group quest in case we can come here one of these days and do all of them at once or whatever. Oh shit. That was the quest I needed. Attunement for the core. Come on, eggs. Oh. Oh my god. Why did God make those so delicious? You know what I mean? Ah, butt fuck. Anyway. Oh shit. This is the beginning. Oh. Hopefully I can get the flight path before they summon. We're off to Area 52, guys. My favorite zone in all of World of Warcraft. Nether Storm. In case you were wondering. Zingermarsh, Blade's Edge, least favorite. Nagrand, Nether Storm, favorite. Shadowmoon Valley, kind of indifferent. Those are damage and healing. Well, I guess 8 spirits best for Shadow Priest because they get damage from their spirit. Which is why I rolled a human. Because I had no clue Arcane was going to be good. But I'll probably be glad. Although I think Int is probably still more damage because you have more mana and more crit, but it's not nearly as much. Well, I don't know, really. 1.5% chance to crit's still really good, but an extra mana, but it's less impactful with, I guess really all it boils down to is about 15, 20 damage. Well, no, because you get more crit, you get more mana, yeah. Crazy. It does make a difference. I mean, 70 int or whatever it is, like 60 int or whatever is like a big difference. It's like 1,000 mana, 1.5 crit, and 15 damage. That's how much extra intellect you get from being a gnome. Which is half of a molten shield, you know. It's like if you could have half of a molten shield and your mage armor at the same time, dude. Yeah, that's pretty good. It'll be even more considering you have more intellect on your gear and Black Temple and Sunwell and all that, so I'm just waiting to get to fire with haste and all that. Let's see if I can't. It should be less impactful. Yeah, I don't really know. I'm still doing like the most damage in all reality if you look at the fucking things. Every week up until the week I played like shit, I was consistently like top damage for almost all of TK. And then I don't have a Shadow Priest this week. Oh my god. You guys haven't been here hearing me cry about it all week? Okay. Let me give you a refresher. I'm only kidding. Yeah, I'm sorry about the shit. I'm healing. Got new shoulders yesterday. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? I will eat your underwear with chopsticks. I will eat your fucking underwear. What I'm considering though is like one of those things that I'm thinking of, like trying to go through like what are all the major platforms currently, and the thing I'm harping on is nets. nets and nuts. Like, what can you offer as a validator in the way of credits on your platform that you cannot exchange, right? And what features they provide for being a validator for Solana. But that being said, this gives an avenue for every crypto project that doesn't necessarily need a coin, a way of supporting Solana, offering like a tokenized kind of experience. And the only thing that I say, and this is what I don't know so far, is um, regulatory wise, it's best just to keep things non-exchangeable. Just redeem it only on your platform. You know what I mean? Or make them unilateral, where if you want to use them on multiple platforms, but you can't exchange them to another person, like a consort, like a what do they call, a union or a consortium of like, these guys are all strategic partners. They all support the same net, which is a credit that you get for for staking Solana that allows you features on platforms A, B, or C or whatever. The thing is as long as you can't exchange, and I might want to get someone that that knows how to do this kind of thing, but as long as you don't exchange them between people, the fact that basically a customer reward program that's redeemable on multiple platforms is kind of the thing that I'm harping on. Is that our tank? It is our tank. Oh. Is that DPS or tank? Well, at the end of the day, is that DPS? But the thing is you think about these like Magic Eden and Pump Fund, they already have a token. Okay, that shouldn't be a problem. So, and obviously a platform as big as Pump Fund or Magic Eden, I believe, I haven't done a whole lot of research. I guess is the size of a platform that you would say justifies or could be justified to have a token associated with it. Whereas you see all these like apps and stuff, you know what I mean? Like I really just want there to be like, for every person that makes like a Solana based app or a Solana based thing, like take the time. I don't know how much it costs to run a validator. I don't know how much Solana you need or whatever, but and then run a validator and then offer rewards for staking Solana through your validator. And if you make an awesome enough platform, then enough people stake Solana through your validator, you get commission, and then it's like a gamified kind of validator competition kind of thing versus just now is like, well, you stake your Solana in a validator and you get anywhere between whatever percentages a year more Solana for doing so or whatever. But the idea would be to kind of like competition, you know what I mean? Like, well, the platform that's going to have the most Solana staked through their platform is the platform that's providing the best features for doing so and maintaining the highest return as possible or whatever, mineable Solana. And you're just rewarding them now. Like if you've got a group of platforms that all do different things, and you can say, well, you can not share, but like, what's the word here? You have like one net credit sum that you can use on different platforms. Only you though, you know what I mean? So if there's like different things, like you can have where you can like on a card-based thing, stake through their validator, redeem free packs of fucking Pokemon cards or whatever the fucking thing is. But that being said, something that I think would be cool for Pump Fun is stake-weighted launches. You know what I mean? Like, I've never launched on Pump Fun. I don't know how it works necessarily, but there's a bonding curve and it has to meet a certain amount or whatever. But if there was a way to, like, if you had to either stake Solana or stake the Pump Fun token to prioritize, not to say like premium listings, but maybe, I guess, the thing is, like, if you have a certain amount of the token and you lock it for a year, there would be like a score associated with doing so, and there would be like a filter that you could view launches based on their locked stake weight of the pump fund token, and I don't want to get into the tokenomics or like the mining part of it if there's anything like that, but the idea that well, if you it stands to reason that the people that are going to lock a certain amount of a token for a year have at least a year obligation to be around and to develop and to do things. You know what I mean? Whereas currently it's like there's no insurance policy for launching on pump fund. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't, but I would feel more comfortable if people were to lock a bunch of the token. You know what I mean? For a period of time, and that's like that adds to your meme coins, quote unquote, uh, stake weight, kind of, right? And then a higher stake weight means like when you go to page rank and hit refresh or whatever, or sort by stake weight, you see like here's the projects that have staked X amount of tokens for how long. The longer you lock a smaller number, the more that smaller number has a heavier weight, and then so you can effectively lock a portion for a long time and get an effective heavy stake weight, or you can lock a larger portion for a shorter period of time and get the same effective stake weight. Would be one cool feature I think would be pretty cool for that kind of thing. The goal being though, like there's the bare minimum's like 1 year, you know what I mean, or two, you know, something reasonable where, and you're like, well, what is it? What are you doing that you can only you know what I mean? It's like, and I get that. Well, not everybody has that, and I'm like, okay, well, some people do, and some people should. There's a whole shitload of the tokens around somewhere, and from what I can gather, no utility just yet. I know there's going to be. That would be like the primary thing that I would think that they're working on probably is how do you give it utility. That's one idea. Like an insurance policy for your thing, right? I know that there's platforms that already do things similar, you know what I mean, but the fact that Pump Fund being one of those things that I think qualifies for something that could justify having its own token on top of wanting to wanting for there to be a reason for a token that increases platform usability without making it impossible to use the platform otherwise, right? Because you don't want to like get to the point where somebody new is intimidated by all this shit going on and has no foot in the door to do this shit with, right? You want them to be able to get a good user experience, a customer experience without having to have, you know, like without having to have a million of the token or whatever, you know what I mean? But for developers and stuff, especially if you get to the part where like, well, you got a person developing multiple projects, it's kind of like, I would never, I would never advise somebody to do that, you know what I mean? Because like, where's your heart really at if you have like a whole bunch of shit going on? And historically in crypto, people that have gone to develop multiple seemingly ambitious projects simultaneously almost have never met success doing all of it. Like usually the thing that got them there was the thing that was successful, and then all the shit after the fact has been like trivial. So I would never suggest to do that, but the thing though is that if you did have a bonding curve where you could bond or lock and stake weight your project for a certain period of time, to, to I know like well, to get preferential ranking, I guess it's like yeah, but not necessarily preferential ranking on the main page, but as long as you could sort by projects that you know what I mean, like give people the option to filter that correctly, filter accordingly, so that way it's not like. But you know, you could say like, okay, well, because there are some companies or crypto projects that do uh, stake weight by lockout and then increase the effective stake weight due to duration and all that. or the duration of the lockout based times the amount. You know what I mean? Inverse square for every extra year that you add to it or some shit, or every 2 years or whatever. Um, up to a certain period of time, because you get to the point where it gets to be so frivolous that you're like, I think 5 years, maybe 10, I don't know, 10's a lot though, man. Like in crypto, remember, like 10 years is more than effectively half of the existence of the crypto market. So I'd love to see more people say, yeah, 10 years, yeah, you're willing to dedicate 10 years of your time, but fact of the matter is that it's not very reasonable to say 10 years is a long fucking time, dude. It really is. I know there are people that are willing to, but like conditions and stuff, like shit happens between now and then, you know what I mean? That quite literally nobody can predict, so it's hard to say for sure, you know, that you'll dedicate 10 years of your time. I mean, it looks good. Don't get me wrong, it's better than doing nothing, and it's better, and technically it is better than doing 5 years, but it's like, what do you say, like, what do you could determine to be like a reasonable commitment? And I would be more for a reasonable commitment than an unreasonable commitment, because people's unrealistic commitments are often met with like, you know, like I said, stand the test of time kind of shit. It's like, it sounds good intentions, but 10 years, really? That's not a reasonable commitment. 10 years is a long fucking time to commit to a crypto project. You know what I mean? Whereas 5 years is like within reason, I believe. Because you get the people promising the moon and saying all this crazy shit, and it's like, we're all humans, man. We're all prone to things between now and 10 years from now. You know what I mean? 5 years is a reasonable amount of time, though. Mm. 3 years is also a good period of time. You know what I mean? Like 3 years sometimes, and I would say, like, obviously, why would you ever want to develop something that you're like, well, the full life cycle of our project is 3 years? Then you're not doing it right. You know what I mean? I would say you would, but just to assure people, ease their minds and all that shit, that 10 years is like, I'm promising you something that I can't possibly promise. You know what? It really is. It's like saying it's like an absurd number at some point in time. Like, I can't necessarily, as much as I would like to and as much as I would hope for that, but I can't necessarily guarantee 10 years of shit ever. Anything, really. You know what I mean? But I know, like, a year is like meme coin shit, you know, like meme coin community development. Fact of the matter is that there's a very high chance that a lot of these meme coins that saw their best day or whatever have already seen their best day and are not gonna, not necessarily rise from the ashes and give anybody any sort of whatever. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, so like, when it seems too good to be true, sometimes it is, right? Like, when you get to the part where people are like locking 50 and 60% of the project, you're like, well, there's probably some sort of inside game for that kind of thing. Because there's going to be this attempt at some point in time for people to like one up each other into absurdity, and like, well, what does that really consist of? Like, well, what that would consist of is somebody, just like the bubble maps thing, using a perception to um, basically monetize on somebody else's ignorance, not in a negative sense, just like, well, the harping on the bubble maps, what does that do? What did that do? It's like, well, effectively, the guy that sits there and says the bubble maps are your solution is the person that has 100 wallets with a few percent or less than a percent on all of them, and has an accumulation larger than the largest bubble, and at least one bubble is out in the open for everyone to see, so everybody has to be comfortable and cool with it before things go forward, where somebody that has like 70% of a project and only less than 0.1% of it visible at a time, you're like, which one of these practices is more dishonest and deceptive, right? The same can be said about, what the fuck was I just talking about? Hold on a second. Yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought. Now I know how Bruce Willis feels. God damn it. Hey, isn't it the guy from Die Hard? I love that man. Bruce Willis sitting there watching Die Hard 2 for the first time. I can't believe I've ever seen this before. Watching fucking Die Hard. Date night. Date night with Bruce Willis. Watching fucking Die Hard. Can't believe I haven't seen this before. Yeah, so no, the accumulation before. So like, yeah, what would happen is somebody would game that system. So they would say like, oh, well, we want the way you can assure against that though is if you use another token for the process, like the lockout bonding process, the stake weighted bonding or whatever. Um, the idea that, well, it looks as if somebody locked 70% of a project, but what they really did was accumulate 90% of it on day one, lock 70% to yoke the other few percent out of everything, right? It doesn't really offer any real security. Now, if that happens de jure, you know what I mean? Like, that just happens to be what happens, that's totally different. But for someone to orchestrate, to make it look like, you know, just like the bubble maps peoples orchestrate and make it look like, look how diversified our bubble maps are, right? It's like, we all know that's not true, or else all of these coins would still have their market cap that they did a year ago, for the most part. But it doesn't work that way. It isn't that way. I don't agree with it. So the same thing would be done, like, so if there's ever an effort for everybody to like monumentally one-up each other to the point where like an absurd level of fucking tokens are being locked in the name of like, oh, they must really believe in the project. I'm like, well, the only way to kind of do that in a way that is factual is if they stake a different token to do so. You know what I mean? Something that already has value elsewhere. And then locking your own token is helpful too. You know, people will definitely appreciate that, but if you're actually willing to put your money on the line and lock it in the name of, and I don't know like what the technical things would be, so I don't know if it offers any sort of security to the meme coin holders or whatever if the thing doesn't work out. Um, like if a percentage of what they bonded goes to refunding or whatever. Yeah, I don't know, because it's like, how do you vote on that kind of thing, you know? And it gets down to it, it's like the most successful project on planet Earth, if it's all a bunch of uh, Nigerian boat captains, then they're all going to say, well, they didn't do what they were supposed to do. We need even more money now, you know, like, yeah. So you can't necessarily leave it up to a democratic vote to determine what happens with the funding from the bonding curve. But I think just at least putting it on the line, you know, like, is helpful. I know not everybody has the pump fund token. I get that, but this, I mean, shit, some people do, and if you're willing to lock away a portion of your own wealth in the name of whatever, then I would say that should go, that should be appreciated by at least, you know what I mean, like, versus just like, well, we understand not everybody has it, but there's still a path of development for people that don't. It's just, yeah, I mean, fuck. What do you do about it? But stake weighted bonding or whatever, are two different bonding things. I wish I knew more about it. But stake the token, I hate to say preferential listing, but if you sort by that category, then you'll obviously see which people apparently, you know what I mean? I'm not saying it's perfect, but apparently believe in their project enough to at least lock away a percentage or portion of their wealth. Why is my pet fucking not doing anything? Go attack, retard. God damn it. I guess I didn't have it on the... I had it on passive from earlier. That's what it was. Kill this fucking thing. I'm And the guy disconnected. Great. Oh, there he is. Those are good. 36. My fucking Shadow Fiend was on passive from the last time. 36, 33, 18. Do I not have healing pants? But shit, they could still run a validator. There's no reason you can't. You know what I mean? Although they might have to... Never mind. I think every crypto, every one of them should run a fucking validator. I really do. You know, the whole thing's going to change at some point in time, though. If they get to, like, not Alpenglow, but Mithril. I have to research more about how Mithril actually works. I know the technicals on it somewhat about the resources reduction and all that. You're like, that puts it to where the things that might reasonably fit inside a gaming system suddenly are enough to be a full validator. That's crazy. Then you might have to eventually change node structure, you know, to where like sub-validators and main validators or whatever for if system resources, or just make it fully just, I don't fucking know, dude. We'll see. But you could imagine a part where everybody's got a validator in their living room. You know, how cool would that be? I don't know what technical advantage that would provide to the network or anything, but it is more decentralized. The thing would probably be poised. Oh, fuck me running? My beacon screwed up. I didn't get a beacon. Aw, guys. I derped it. I clicked it and it didn't go in my bag. I saw someone else's. We have to skip this one. I derped it. I need to talk and forget. We're fine. But the part is like, you see how the Nigerian fucking boat captains want to operate. Whenever you, here's the thing, is like, whenever they when they accrue some sort of cost in their operation, that's just that much more they have to rug you out of to pay for it. So like, if you think about like, oh well, they need 10%, 10% to list on. They need 10% to list on wherever. They need $5,000 to list on CoinMarketCap. It's like all you're doing is putting a dollar amount on what it costs to scam somebody, and for some reason, I don't know how, they always seem to be able to come up with whatever that number is. You know what I mean? like tried and true. If it costs $100,000 to launch a meme coin, then somehow they always make at least $100,000. You know, whatever the cost is, and they somehow don't give a shit about forfeiting 10% of their project to what's the fucking thing, a Hugh Boy, or that might actually be a legitimate exchange. But what's one of the other fucking exchanges that are terrible? You know what I mean? L Bank or whatever. You're like, yeah, they don't mind doing it then, and that guy's offline again. So So yeah, go figure. But the thing is like if you have a bonding curve, or not a bonding curve, but a bonding element that um, increases the amount that you have to stake, and that stake is larger than the amount that it costs to scam somebody, and doing it the right way means you get your tokens back after doing it the right way, then it becomes more economical to do shit the right way than it does to scam people. To a degree, it can still, obviously, you know, there's going to be people do it all the right way, and then on the last day you find out that they fucking did whatever. But cool. It's gonna piss me off that I can't remember. My mind is shit this morning for some reason. It's because I probably reduced. That's what they say though. If you do reduce your sodium drastically, they say for like a time being that you can be like foggy and kind of lethargic. Moonglade pants. Moonglade. So what is it? Not Upbit, not Qcoin. It's the one I always hate. Mexi, that's right. Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. They try to trick me into thinking they were Mexican, but they're really from China. Yeah, that's the thing though. Is like, yeah, and for whatever reason, like, of course they'll pay $100,000 to scam you out of $150,000. So if you make it to where, if you just incentivize people for doing it the right way, there's more people that are going to do it the right way, and less people that feel that it's necessary to try and scam people. You know, because everybody's seen good projects that, like, had the developer had the right intentions, could have been successful. But um, they don't. And the way to prevent that is, well, you can increase operating costs, which then edges anybody out from doing it the right way that doesn't necessarily have a whole bunch of money from scamming people prior. Or you can create some sort of bonding system, stake weighted kind of thing that is a way of assuring your community as a developer that you're there for the long haul, you know. And I would say one is more effective than the other. And if you increase the cost of, if all you're like, oh, well, okay, you know, you get what I'm saying though, right? Like, well, this project, everybody will think this project is legitimate if it gets listed on CoinMarketCap. And what does that amount to? $5,000 has nothing to do with legitimacy, period. Okay, well, if we get listed on Mexi, they'll believe us. What does it have to do with legitimacy? It requires you to forfeit 10% of something that you say is the next internet. You know what I mean? It's like, would you really forfeit 10% of the next internet to get listed on an exchange if it were legitimate? I hope not. I really hope not. You know what I mean? It's like, so $15,000, 10% of your project, you're like, I've dealt with this guy before. Actually, I know this person that does this, right? It's like, he's divvied out the tasks to a bunch of other people. I'm like, when I worked with John, this was like the shit he would demand from people. 10%, I want 5,000, well, way more than 5,000 up front. I'm like, yeah, I've dealt with this decentralized piece of shit before then. You know, I have. You know, I know all these tricks. And it'll make it seem legitimate, but it's not. So like, yeah, no, I've dealt with this very unreasonable. Now instead of just one person demanding all these things, it's two or three people. But I've dealt with this before. I have. Yeah, I've dealt with this shit. And then you have to like, well, how much do you have to pay the bot farms to retweet your content, right? It's like, okay, so there's more operating costs, and go figure. That's just that much more that they have to rug you out of to get things up and running for the next operation. It never stops until you make it to where it's harder to do for them, you know. And the way you do that is say like, well, we want you to lock. If you want to, if you really, you know what I mean. It's like, well, then they lock it and they get it back and blah blah blah. Like, there's a way to do it though. You know, there is a way to do it. Like if it outright turns to be an exit scam or something, maybe if you get to like a certain amount of votes within the community, you could determine that no, you don't get the shit back. Period. You divvy to recompensate the people that got fucked over. That might work, because if you get a high enough number of votes, like you can't just have a few people going, oh, well, you know, or maybe an override system or something. You know, there's some form of something that might work. You know. Because you'll always get a percentage of the people screaming and saying it's a scam because it's their competitor, but other than that, yeah, there's probably a way to do it. Hello. Well, I wish I could fly, and I could go to Mechanar, but I really don't feel like doing it. I'm not distracted right now. I just, you know. Pray it all works out. what I don't understand is like where now paying for premium listings on something like CoinMarketCap, does that make them vulnerable to legal action for people that pay to get listed for their preferred whatever and then turns out to be a scam anyway? You know what I mean? Like they said, I don't know what the vetting process for that kind of thing consists of, and I don't know how you're just trying to think of like things that are you pay to make things seemingly seem legitimate that aren't. You're like, yeah, I don't know where you draw the line for that kind of thing. So that could be part of the reason why they maintain the free listing process. And then they say, well, we needed $5,000 to deploy the human resources or whatever required to do it. Right. But at this point in time, I've gotten so disenfranchised with how all this shit's been set up and everything that I'm to the point where if you don't, I'm looking for, like I say, if you don't have a DWI, I'm suspicious of people. Like, you mean to tell me you've gone your entire life and you haven't managed to piss off one of these goddamn Nazis goose stepping around, the streets of America? Really? Yeah, I'm suspicious of the person that hasn't. But that's kind of what I am right now with all this shit. Like, I'm suspicious of the person that does have $5,000 to get listed on CoinMarketCap. I'm suspicious of the person that is listed on MEXC. I really am. I'm suspicious of the person that has a 1,000 people retweeting their shit consistently and nobody buying the token and 250 people watching their live stream and not one purchase. You're like, yeah, this is a ghost town, period. Yeah, I'm suspicious of these things and I should be. And what's weird about it is they all always seem to coexist. You know what I mean? These are like the fingerprints of something that I don't necessarily believe in all honesty. Did you know? Yeah, whatever. Whatever. But whatever it is, whatever the cost is, they'll pass it on to you. I promise you that. They'll definitely pass it on to you. They aren't going to pay the shit out of pocket ever. Right? Yes. All right, now we should do some quests. Some quests is. I didn't get the name Flavor Flav. Whatever. Having to have all of this extra shit on you at all the time, dude, is annoying. I don't know if we can keep all this cleft hoof meat. Can they cook it into something that matters? Seems like everything besides buzzard meat, the thing I need, right? Oh, good. No. But then again, it's like you have to be wary because no amount of locking a token, agreeing to burn a token, like none of that is going to make anything a success for any reason other than, you know what I mean? Like those things in and of themselves don't make anything a success. Trust me. Uh, like I've said 100,000 times, right? Like, and what are the fundamentals? What utility? What use is there for it? Most important questions, right? Oh, I do have some mana potions. I've got some healing potions. Cool. Come on, you don't think Bruce Willis watching Die Hard not recognize it and going, I really like this guy. Come on now. Come on now. Laugh at that. Laugh at that, goddammit. Right. Anyway, might get another bottle of water. Oh, oh man. Wait, are you guys serious right now? Wait, are you guys serious? Wait, are you guys serious right now? Where are more of these things? I thought I had to kill these things for a quest, these mana wraiths. Wait, are you guys serious right now? There we are. Look at that. That's what we need. Pick these up off the ground. This is much easier grinding than a mage. I'll be right back. Hello. Oh, that's right. Well, that's a what? Look like a disease. That's a regular thing. Whatever. Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. It's hard to tell what things are or aren't worth dispelling too, you know, like I'm just in the mindset of, well, get used to dispelling everything quickly, and then that way you can figure out what it is that you're dispelling later, and then you can choose whether or not to dispel it, right? Well, some of these things. God damn it. That's a fucking wrong button. That's a wrong button. Son of a bitch. These random spaceship parts just laying on the floor. All right, now. Let's go ahead and go, guy. I think we got this. Just me and you, Mr. Robot, Maximilian, or something. I have a story to tell about everything eventually, dude. I tell you what. It's all shit that you would just look at me and go, okay, well, where's the straitjacket? You know, if I told you now. But when I explain it all in sequence, it'll all make sense and you'll all say, yeah, that's true. Yeah, but now it's like, right. There are some people that believe me, and they should, because I've proven that fucking some of the most crazy shit ever happens around me for some reason. Hey, robot, remember? Can't heal it. Come on now. Is this supposed to... Last time it said it takes 2 people. I think I did this on my own. Metal. Metal. Me and my best friend. Thanks, Maximilian. Do I still have? I don't have any biscuits. Oh, wrong person. Where's the shackled guy? I so totally shackled one of these things. Where the fuck did it go? Cool. Recharging the batteries. Have you recharged the battery? Shale skin. Oh, I gotta go kill these mana worms up north. When they get low, then you can use a totem or something. Do you know, sort quest items accordingly? There we are. Oh, these are different. These guys are different. Mana snappers, phase hunters. Yeah, one of these. Oh, crazy. This is way better. Yeah, I really don't want Wrath of the Lich King to come out, really. I know we have a while to go still, like another, what, 6 months or so? Or more. It's like, Wrath of the Lich King is when the game got terrible. All those things synced up, like, right? You pay attention to that kind of thing. It's been happening a lot the past few days where, like, seemingly unrelated things all sync up at once, like, kind of weird. Like the day I was on the treadmill, right? and I was walking for 15 minutes. I was listening to one of my favorite songs, and I got within like 3 or 2 seconds of my 15-minute walk being finished. Right as the song finished on my TV, the power went out, and it all like I'm like that was weird. It was super weird. And the next day, I was playing World of Warcraft, and we were doing a boss fight in Southern Calls or whatever, and it got to like within like 1 or 2 seconds of the boss dying, and the internet went out. I'm like, that's a little weird, you know, just been weird shit. And then just now, the type of shit I pay attention to, call me a nerd for it or whatever, but I hadn't been this entire time. I had gotten down to my last like 1 mana. It was mana burning me. I wanted it. Fucking double knockout and then quest complete. I'm like, that was super weird. So that's the third time in 3 days that that's happened. So like, yeah, how do I not pay attention to that kind of thing? When things just happen to sync up like that, it's just weird. I don't know what to make of it. All right, now all these quests are done. Cool. Oh, nothing. Do I not have like all my add-ons and stuff that worked last time? Auctionator, Attune. That's right, Classic, Atlas Loot, Voodoo, Platter, Plater. I like the bar add-on where I can see. So like on Tempest Keep, Kale Thoughts, or whatever, where I can see the things over their heads, right? And I can select. But this shit is just not working since they did all this shit. Since they changed the add-on. Whatever. $66 healing. Junior technician. Wonder what that looks like. Where do I turn this in at? Alright, I was just inside here, right? Looked around, no golden question marks above anybody's head. Is that because the fucking add-on is glitched out? Oh, you guys have an awful lot to say. DPS heals. Can do. Oh. Let me set my hearth to here though. Can I? It is here. Let me reset some add-ons. God damn it, dude. I just turned all this shit off. Auctionator. All the things I just had turned on. Bug grabber. I really just want my enemy to have nameplates so I can see when they cast. I don't know what Omnibar does either. Weak auras. I can't set my hearth here yet. Can't I? Shouldn't I be able to do that? Oh. Are you guys my enemies? Not yet. Why can't we just be friends? Oh. Every time I hearth to this place here, so I can't quite make sense of why. For fuck's sakes. That's kind of what I'm looking for, but with a cast bar above their head. That helps though. Being able to see that. Just something above their head. And where's the innkeeper? It's in here. Now why can't I innkeeper Bruno Dorio? Because I haven't. Oh, there he is, hiding over here. Cool. But now the fucking, where do I turn this in at? There's not a, do you guys see that on my map here? There's a golden question mark. Healer. Healing 29, healing 21. My ear's ringing. I'm standing right on top of it. Where do I turn the thing in at? So I'm holy for this one? Yes. What is that, a joke? Is that supposed to be a joke? Right. No, guys. Aw. I'm trying to get some bar add-on that I can see these things above their head. Oh, we got got some of them. Oh, he's got them shit biscuits, dog. He's got them shit biscuits. Do you need me to pay for you to go train the new water? Any chance of that happening? I have a thing here. He's got them shit biscuits. God damn it, Jerry. So I don't need these above my teammates' heads, enemy nameplates, and then turn those off. I quite literally only need them above my enemy. And then I should be able to unbind, and I never want these to, why on earth? Not just the one I have targeted. I'll eventually figure it out. Are you, what are you spec'd for? What are you trying to do? Stam, int, damage and healing. Oh, he's just got healing gear on. Oh, it's just purified. I see what's going on here. I was like backwards there. He's like, no, but that wasn't conjurable. I'm like, you can't. Why would you learn water that you can't conjure? What would you do with it? Just read it, appreciate it. I really like the way this water looks. I wish it would quench my thirst. I see what happened. He bought the thing and traded it to me. I got you. Sprechen Sie die Lingity. There's a new record crit. Oh my god. Can you select targets based off that nameplate? Give me just a second for mana. Because if you could select based off the nameplate, like I can't see all the shit. Like, but the thing sticks out there. If I can select it based on nameplate, that'd be great. I normally can get the totems and stuff here, but it's in trying to get it right for Serpent Shrine Cavern. It's hard to fucking see the things unless I can tab to it. You know what I mean? It's only showing me above their head if they're. Oh, that's 4 of those guards, bro. Like I want it to show the nameplate above their head regardless of who I have selected for one. And I also want to be able to select target based off the nameplate. So whenever the fucking totem drops on Karathresh, whatever, I can actually see the thing. I still am doing like pretty good. I think I'm the only mage trying to kill the fucking thing. In all honesty, I think I'm the only person trying to kill the fucking things. But Uh, Fuck. God damn it. Just be careful in the thunderclaps. I mean, I could have healed better, but like it got to the point where the totem was having the other guy mind controlled. And I'm like, no one's fucking killing the thing. I have to, after this, I have to cook my rice. I actually got eggs and chicken, eggs and tuna to eat. Okay, kill ads. And then cool. Oh man. Oh. Anyway, let's go. Let's get this going. Please, love God. Let's get it over with. I'm halfway there. I'm a mage too sometimes. Shit. I don't know how that broke. Don't know how it broke. Oh, well, god damn it, Jerry. I don't know what to prioritize here. I just know that those birds are fucking super annoying. 'Cause they charge and knock back and all that shit. Ah, I didn't see it there. Well, I'm on that one, but